Good morning. My name is Karen A, and this is the Reco12 Afro-Euro podcast. We're a family of recovery resources internationally that help addicts of all addictions and all afflictions. If you're suffering and have the desperation of a drowning man, you've come to the right place. If you're recovered and are here to help other people and be useful to your fellows and to your higher power, you've come to the right place. If you'd like to listen to some of our previous podcasts, you could go to Reco12.com, where we've got Noodle That with Nikki, the Big Book Roundtable, a bunch of amazing shares from AA, DA, Workaholics Anonymous, CODA, Sex Addicts Anonymous, the Anon programs, just to name a few. If you'd like to share on the Reco12 podcast, I will put my number in the chat and we can look into having you come and join us and share your experience, strength, and hope. If you'd like to contribute a seventh tradition, you could go to Reco12.com/support and contribute your seventh tradition there that helps pay for the Zoom costs and other technical stuff. Without further ado, it's my honor to introduce you to Cristina. Welcome.
Good morning.
Hi, Cristina. Good morning.
My name is Cristina and I'm an alcoholic. Thank you very much, Karen. I'm grateful to be here. My sobriety date is 4th of January this year, and I'm very grateful to be sober, to be here by the grace of a loving God. And today I'll be sharing on step 3. And step 3 says, made the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. But before I jump in and share on step 3, I'll share about how I was and share about how I came to the understanding that I need a power greater than myself, as I understood the nature of my powerlessness. And I started drinking early on while I was 15 years old. And drinking is a symptom of, not a symptom, the solution I tried to cure my symptoms being irritable, angry, discontent, feeling isolated from others, and looking to find relief from that using another substance, using alcohol or other behaviors. And it became progressively worse. Now I understand this disease, alcoholism, that once I start drinking, I cannot stop. And the obsession of the mind that it gets me back to drinking. I'm without defense against the first drink. I cannot remember the humiliation of the suffering or a week or a month ago, and no human power could relieve me of my obsession to drink. And it became progressively worse because alcohol became the most important thing in my life, and if anything that come between me and alcohol, I would push it aside. And I had problems with personal relations, with holding on to a job, with anger. And I tried different methods. I tried to control my drinking, which failed, to focus on studies, to have 2 free jobs, go to therapy, reading self-help books, and nothing worked. And I also treated AA like a self-help program. I first found out about AA in 2015, and I heard there are AA groups that help other alcoholics, they help each other, and I didn't want to go. I tried to read this book on my own. I came to AA in 2020. And I read the big book on my own. I went to meetings, but I wasn't willing to be honest and open with another human being. I wasn't willing to pray and connect with a power greater than myself. And wasn't willing to be honest. I just did half measures. And as it says in our book, half measures avail us nothing. So after 2.5 years of just going to meetings, I still suffer from untreated alcoholism, feeling irritated, angry, discontent, having all these fears and resentments from the past, and exhibiting other behaviors. I wasn't drinking during those 2.5 years, but I would double up on smoking cigarettes, food, shopping, anything I could find on the exterior to fill this emptiness. And after that 2.5 years, I ended up drinking again. And for about 8 months, every day I would tell myself, today, with my self-will, I will not drink. But I wasn't willing to pray. I wasn't willing to talk with anyone. I wasn't willing to come back to AA. And I tried on my own self-will to quit, and I couldn't. Finally, I surrendered. And on the 4th of January this year, I prayed and I said, God, higher power, if you're there, please take away my obsession to drink. I'm willing to go to any lengths. Just show me what to do, and I'll do it. And I was willing to ask someone, another recovered member, to take me through the steps and be willing to follow suggestions and be honest. And it's really wonderful, because God can do for me what I cannot do for myself. God removed my obsession to drink, also removed my obsession to smoke cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for 15 years, and I just surrendered it to God, and God just took it away. And the food obsession, it just was removed, and it's just really, really wonderful. And I know that I had a problem with the word God, and maybe many people who listen to this will. And I'm sorry if it comes in that way. It's just a word I use to define a power greater than myself. I have a couple of quotes from the big book, and one of them I liked it's in Bill's story on page 10. It says, when they talked of a God personal to me who was love, superhuman strength and direction, I became irritated and my mind snapped shut against such a theory. And my understanding is I had an idea of God that was mainly imposed by me, or imposed by others to me while I was a child or teen, thinking of a God who's more demanding or punishing or not loving. And the good part is I can make my own obsession of a power greater than myself, which is love, superhuman strength, who cares for me, who wants what's best for me, who can do for me what I cannot do for myself, who removed my obsession to drink and other things. And it's just wonderful that I can let go of my old prejudice and explore, just be willing to be open and be willing to believe in a power greater than myself. This is all that is needed to make a beginning. And the way to get connected and have a relationship with this loving higher power is to work the steps. The steps are the path to a power greater than myself. And also what I really loved and really helped me understand is, so I understand step 1, that I'm powerless over alcohol and that my life is unmanageable, that I can no longer be the manager of my life. This manager needs to quit, and I need a power greater than myself, because the way I managed my life was very destructive. And I understand that other people could not give me the sanity I need. So I come to believe in a power greater than myself that can restore me to sanity. And I don't need to understand or comprehend it, just to seek it and learn to trust it. So it talks again. I'll read from the big book, and it's something that I really love. On page 46. So it says, we found that as soon as we were able to lay aside prejudice and express even a willingness to believe in a power greater than ourselves, we commenced to get results, even though it was impossible for any of us to fully define or comprehend that power, which is God. Much to our relief, we discovered that we did not need to consider another conception of God. Our own conception, however inadequate, was sufficient to make the approach and to effect a contact with Him. As soon as we admitted the possible existence of a creative intelligence, a spirit of the universe underlying the totality of things, we began to be possessed of a new sense of power and direction, provided we took other simple steps, which refers to the 12 steps. We found that God does not make too hard terms with those who seek Him. To us, the realm of spirit is broad, roomy, all-inclusive, never exclusive or forbidding to those who earnestly seek. It is open, we believe, to all men. And this gives me a lot of hope and courage to pursue and explore, because all my life I never had a relationship with a power greater than myself. I saw what relationship my friends, family, other people in AA had with a power greater than myself, but I never explored that. I just went to meetings, and I would selfishly pray when I wanted my self-will to get done, when I wanted to get something, always in self-centered fear, about the fear of losing what I have or not getting what I want. So my prayers were mainly selfish, and it says in our book that it doesn't work. But being beat up to a sense of reasonableness and getting to rock bottom, since January this year, I became open and willing to pray to a power greater than myself to show me what's His will for me, the power to carry it out, and also to pray about how can I be helpful to other people in AA, to my workplace, to friends, to family. How can I be of maximum service to people in AA and the people about me? Because in this way, when I pray for others, and when I pray on, I can pray for myself if others could benefit it, and I can pray to God to give me the strength, power, love, peace, so I can be a channel, and I can be a channel of love and peace, as it says in the Saint Francis prayer. And also remember gratitude. I make sure to write gratitude list every morning and at night, and remember the blessing of every day, and trust that God is doing for me what I cannot do for myself. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful that the big book doesn't say I need to find religion or I need to accept other conceptions of a power greater than myself. I don't even need to fully adhere or comprehend my sponsor relationship with their higher power, because it's personal. I can develop my own personal relationship, and I can develop that through meditation, through prayer, to helping others, to being connected in meetings, and working the steps. So I'm just very, very grateful for that, because I can disregard my old conceptions and I can find a new one which works, because I need to find a power greater than myself that will help me live and be helpful, be useful to others. So I'm really, really grateful to God for his love and His compassion, and for saving me. And I understand that I want to share about God's will. So in order for me to find God's will, I need to work the steps. I am right now working with a new sponsor and looking to develop further the first 3 steps and step 4, and in order to clear away the wreckage of the past, learn to trust God, and to help others, and looking to help others right now with reaching out to newcomers, sharing about meetings, helping them finding a sponsor, going to meetings, going to local meetings, and sharing hope, because by sharing hope we can help each other. And it's just really, really wonderful how this program works. No longer do I need to be self-sufficient, and the more I depend on a power greater than myself, the freer I am. I read as Bill says it recently about we are easily dependent on electricity and we accept it and we don't question it. And the more electricity we have in the house and is uninterrupted, then we have more freedom. So the more dependent I am on a power greater than myself, the freer I am. Because my mind is full of selfish, dishonest, self-seeking reasons. So I ask God every day, God, please remove this and direct my attention to what you have me be, what you want me to do. And it's very, very helpful. And I understand that in order to do that, my mind needs to be clear of substances, alcohol, drugs, food that is triggering to me, all these things. And it depends on each person in particular. So my mind to be clear, my mind and my body to be clear of all these substances, be willing to work the steps, pray, meditate, and have quiet time. I used to, even recently, I used to be very distracted. I would always, like listen to a podcast or listen to music, always have my headphones on, always being distracted, watching my phone, doing other things, and not really being connected and present. So I started changing that. So I have more quiet time. I spend more time in nature and just have more quiet time. And in this way, I can get connected with a power greater than myself. At the same time, I understand that I'm not restored to sanity until I get to step 10, and I still have a process to make, and also the amends I still need to make. So at the same time, when I get an idea, especially like a major idea about, I think God would want me to change my job or move to another city, or things like that, it's really good to not listen to my head and not trust that everything that I hear is God's will, and consult with my sponsor or consult with another recover member, because Bill tells us also in page 84, 85, I think that we're not always connected, and we can pay a price for it. So it's good to consult with other recovery members. And about step 3. So I understand that the problem is I'm full of selfishness, self-centeredness that shows in different forms, and I cannot be rid of it on my own willpower, and I need a power greater than myself. So it says, I understand, step 3, it says that we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. And I heard that decision comes from, I think, a Latin word that called. So it says to cut out, so decision is about cutting out the ego, cutting out what is my self-will, and be open to find God's will. And also, I understand that I don't need to completely understand God or have already an established relationship with God on step 3. It's also a decision to work the next steps to work the next steps until step 12, so I can get connected with a power greater than myself. And I'll just read. I'll just continue to read from the big book. So it says on page 62, and I'll just mention that my previous sponsor gave me a really good exercise about step 3. So after reading the ABC, that we are alcoholics and could not manage our own lives, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism, that God could and would if he were sought. And being convinced of this ABC, we were on step 3. And she suggested to write these pages from page 60 until the end of page 62 on first person present tense. Like, I am convinced that I'm on step 3, and I understand that my life run on self-will can hardly be a success, that I am the actor. So it's been very helpful for me to put it in present tense, and see how I try to manipulate others to get my own will, and when I harm them, they retaliate. So I understand that my troubles are basically of my own making, and I needed God's help. For that, I needed to quit playing God, because it does not work. I decided that here on after, in this drama of life, God is going to be my director. He is the principal. I am his agent. He is the father. I am his child. And most good ideas are simple. This concept was the keystone of a new and triumphant arch through which we passed to freedom. And I'm just very, very grateful for this, because understanding that I'm powerless over alcohol, my life is unmanageable, I need a power greater than myself. And it says, it continues on page 63. When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employer, being all powerful. He provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flowing, we enjoyed peace of mind, and we discovered we could face life successfully. As we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, and the hereafter. We were reborn. And it's just wonderful. It's just so, so wonderful. These are some really incredible promises. So it doesn't ask much. It just asks me to stay close to this higher power, stay connected, check in throughout the day, not just in the morning and night, but throughout the day. Just pause and ask God, please give me inspiration. Please give me an intuitive thought or a decision. What should I do in this situation? And just pause and breathe and take some time about it, and performing his work well. So it means sharing. I'm overflowed in my time of meditation by this presence, by this love, by this sense of peace. And with this overflowing sense of peace and love, I can give back to others. And not just people in AA, but everyone I meet, strangers, friends, family, just sharing a smile, asking how they're doing, reaching out to them, being of help. This gives the most, it gets me out of self, and it's a lot of peace and wonderful when my mind is still and I'm not self-obsessed. Just really wonderful to focus on others. And and we were now at step 3. So I'll just say the third step prayer. God, I offer myself to you to be with me and to do with me as your will. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do your will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of your power, your love, and your way of life. May I do your will always. Amen. And it's just it's just so, so wonderful. I say it every morning and at night, and it gives me a sense of peace because I don't longer need to carry the burden on my shoulders, to carry the worst burden of my shoulders. I can rest and relax and breathe and know that I am safe in this presence that cares for me and wants what's best for me. And I'm just emotional and grateful to be here. And after first time I did step free, I felt a sense of peace and freedom. But I know that this sense would not have lasted if, it says next we launched out in a course of rigorous action. And I am in the process of starting to write another step 4 to clear away the wreckage of the past. And in that way, I'm clearing away the wreckage of the past so my consciousness can be free and to remove the blocks that stand between me and a power greater than myself. So yeah, I'm just really grateful, doing step 3 and immediately, following with step 4, because I understand that step 3 is basically like a decision to follow the next steps. And it doesn't have to be like something intellectual, which I completely understand or accept, just to be curious and follow the next steps and see where it takes us. It's an adventure. It's a wonderful journey. And I know how hard it can be, step 4. I also had some doubts about writing it again, but I trust that my higher power will carry me through. And I know what a wonderful freedom it is with step 5. By being thorough and honest with another person and seeing how the other person accepts and doesn't judge me, it's just so, so wonderful. And the 5th step, promises. I just love, we have promises all over the book. It's full of promises. But the ones I really, really love are the 5th step promises. And it says, we can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. And it's just wonderful. These are some really incredible promises, because I try to blot out the consciousness of my guilt and remorse with alcohol and other things, and it didn't work. My mind was always loud, and sometimes it still is. But by going through this process, not only the obsession to drink or other substances or behaviors is removed, but there's a new sense of peace and freedom, a new stillness, being able to be connected, be present, be with one another, see other people as they are. I always had this idea, people are out to get me, but actually most people are very loving and kind, and it's wonderful to be able to have a real intimate relationships, friendships, and it's just really, really wonderful. And I'm very, very grateful to be here. And thank you very much for allowing me to share. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. For everyone who's present, hope something that I've shared was helpful and useful. And grateful to God for the daily reprieve. I know it's a daily reprieve, and seeing what can I do to, I try to do step 10s often, so I clear away the wreckage of today and stay connected with this loving higher power. Someone shared about the power of good. So I trust that this is a power of good that I get connected to, and it's present with here right now. And thank you very much. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you so much, Cristina. Really beautiful. I love when people get moved by their sharing, because this program is so magical. I'm going to ask everybody to put your questions in the chat, please. Cristina can answer them live. Go ahead and put your questions in the chat, and we'll handle them. Cristina, going back to your personal story, and you said just a beautiful step 3 prayer. What was the moment? Like, what? I guess we'll go back to step 1. What was the moment that you really conceded to your innermost self that you were an alcoholic? What was that step 1 surrender? What was it like for you? What happened? That you were like, I need this with the desperation of a drowning man.
Thank you very much, Karen. So I remember that in 2023, I had about 2 months without a drink, but it was very white knuckling, going to as many meetings as possible, relating with other people. And during holidays, I started drinking again. The obsession came again. And for several weeks, I couldn't stop drinking. And I understand that I tried all other methods. I even tried, working the 12 steps, half measures without praying. So I tried all methods, and I understood that I cannot postpone or evade. I'm in trouble. Other people cannot help me stop drinking. I can have 100 outreach calls or meetings 24/7, but I'll still end up drinking again. So for the first time in my life, I honestly asked for help from a power greater than myself, and was willing to take the action and be all in and start working the steps, because I didn't see any alternative. And I had the desperation of a drowning man, that I need to get a solution. I need to make a priority. And thank you.
And what about your process getting through step 4 up through step 11 before you sponsor people? How long did that all take? I know a lot of people fall off. A lot of our sponsees fall off at step 4. Do you work the workbook by the way, or do you work your 12 steps out of the big book of AA? And then how long did it take you to get through that? 2 different questions there.
Yes, so I worked the 12 steps with a sponsor using the big book. And what happened is I wasn't fully honest with her, and I wasn't willing to maintain this relationship with a power greater than myself. And I would ask for her guidance, about my life, rather than connecting with a power greater than myself. And because of that, I became what some people might describe like a dry drunk, like being again irritable, angry, and discontent. And for this reason, I'm now working with a new sponsor and looking to explore step 1, 2, and 3, and write some things that I haven't included in my previous step 4. And once I'm ready to start sponsoring people again, and in the meantime help any way I can. Yes, I hope it was clear. Thank you.
Sorry. How many people do you sponsor at once?
So I sponsored a couple of people, and we got to step 3. But because my spiritual condition didn't improved, and instead of putting a priority, and instead of doing my daily spiritual activities, I started drifting sideways. Because of that, I made the decision to not sponsor people at the moment, and start working the steps again, and be helpful in other ways by doing service and helping new people, reaching new people, to help them find a sponsor, help them find meetings, find a big book, because I want to be ready and be effective in helping others with sponsoring.
Okay. some hope you have for the drowning man?
The hope is that it doesn't have to be alone, that you can reach out, get to a meeting, connect with someone after the meeting, talk with them, ask someone to sponsor you, because there's a lot of freedom from it and you don't have to do it alone. Thanks.
Yes, this is a we program, not a me program. And if you guys have questions, if you're, looking for a sponsor, if you're looking for a fellow on your squad, if you're looking for someone to connect to, Christina, do you want to go ahead and put your number in the chat?
For sure, I will.
Thank you. Will anyone put their questions for Christina here? I'm going to finish off with maybe one last question. Can you tell us your routine for getting connected? What did you do today? What are you going to do tomorrow to make sure you stay connected and on track?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Karen. So what I do is I read every day 2 pages from the big book. I then read the daily reflection first thing in the morning, and then write any step 10s that I might have, any resentments or fears that are present, and I write them down. And afterwards, I write at least 5 things I'm grateful for. And then I say a couple of prayers, the 3rd-step prayer, the 7th-step prayer. I share the resentment prayer, the fear prayer, and I also meditate. I meditate for a couple of minutes. I try to focus on the breathing. I try to go to at least one meeting every day, and I usually go to like 4 or 5 minute meetings every week, and I try to be there early, be present, see if I can help any people who are new, who are looking for support or meetings or a big book or anything like that. To be of service at the meetings, and just pausing throughout the day and getting connected with God, focusing on gratitude has been very, very helpful. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if we have any other questions here in the chat. Okay, well, I'm going to encourage you to get up and sponsoring, because nothing maintains your spiritual condition more than that. Like our big book says, I'm going to encourage everyone in this line to make sure to get through the 12 steps. And that includes step 12, working with others, the most important life-saving part of our program. If we don't have any questions or comments, I'm going to end a little early. If someone has a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute and jump in.
Thanks for sharing your experience, strength, and hope.
Christina, if we have no further questions, I'm going to ask you to pray us out. Oh,
Can I share
it looks like
quickly?
Alana has a question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a question. I just wanted to say, and I'm going to show my face. Hi, Ilana, compulsive overeater from Israel. Thank you so much, Christina, for your openness and honesty. And I loved how you shared how with the big book to open up page 60 to say I. It's a we program, but it's so much of an individual. It's so much I have to surrender. I can't, if I don't surrender, if I don't work my program of recovery for today, then I will be in food. I will be in whatever. So I appreciated that you shared about page 60, and I appreciated how you shared basically the way you work your steps and the way you work a day in the life of recovery. And that's really inspiring. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Okay. Christina, I'm going to ask you to please pray us out for the day, and wish everybody a beautiful day where they're helpful to God and their fellows.
Thank you very much, Karen, and everyone being here. I'll end with the set aside prayer. God, please help me set aside everything I think I know about myself, the 12 steps, the big book, the meetings, my disease, and you, God, so I may have an open mind and a new experience with all these things. Please help me see the truth.
I've seen stars fall from above. I've fallen in and out of love. I've been high and I've been low. Now I know I just can't do this on my own. I've seen a boy become a man. He got lost without a plan. He's so far away from home. Now I know I just can't do this on my own. Your arms surrounding me. Your touch is grounding me. No longer searching for purpose all alone. 'Cause now I know that I just can't do this on my own. I'm looking for the words to say. You make the world a better place, and I can call that place my home. 'Cause now I know that I just can't do this on my own. Your arms surrounding me. Your touch is grounding me. No longer searching for purpose all alone. 'Cause now I know that I just can't do this on my own. So let me see just what you need to set you free, so we can be. I saw stars fall from above. I fell in and out of love. I got high and I fell low. But now I know that I just can't do this on my own. No, I just can't do this on my own. I just can't do this on my own.